Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day in The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, you've come to the right place. We welcome your phone calls on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products, longevity business, health challenges you or a loved one may be dealing with, 844-236-6010. If you're at the convention and I met you and you have questions I didn't get to you, this is your opportunity to give us a shout and have your questions answered. We want to be your go-to resource for all things health and nutrition, 844-236-6010, and skincare as well. You can check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. I personally have been formulating skin health products since 1982, and I've learned a thing or two about what you need on your skin. And it's very unfortunate. The skincare business is unfortunately, like a lot of health businesses, is misleading in the interests of profit margin, in the interests of corporate interests. Unfortunately, that's right. Skin care should be skin health. That's how I look at it. Skin care should be skin health. The health of the organ called the skin is so important to understand, and we take it for granted, and we treat it as we treat our skin as an afterthought. We don't treat our skin with the same kind of intentionality and the same kind of conscientiousness that we address the inside of our body. And we don't even do that well either. But certainly we don't consider the skin to be as significant in terms of how we care for it as our heart or our liver or our spleen. And that's unfortunate. The skin is the body's largest organ. We say that all the time. The body is an organ, the skin is an organ, and it deserves to be treated as such. And that's why I came out with my Truth Skin Health products, which are all available at truthtreatments.com. Truthtreatments.com. Longevity products can be had at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And take a look at our nutritional supplements at truthnourishment.com, truthnourishment.com. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side. We've been spending some time talking about hormones, and by the way, 844-236-6010 is our number. We do have lines open. We've been spending time talking about the hormones and hormone chemistry, and there's a lot of confusion, I think, about hormones, what exactly a hormone is and how it works, and how is a hormone different from nutrition? Hormones are not nutrition. Hormones are secondary to nutrition. But hormones are made from nutrition. You make your hormones like you make all the chemistry in your body from vitamin C, I shouldn't say from, but via the actions of the B complex, vitamin C, magnesium, zinc. Hormones are made from nutrients. Literally, they're not only the end result of chemistry that comes from nutrition, but they're made from fats. They're made from essential fats, or at least essential fats are involved in their production, we'll say. Two kinds of hormones. You got water hormones and you got fat hormones. We'll get into that in just a moment. But what I want people to understand, what I want you guys to understand now is that hormones arouse, they stimulate. In fact, the word hormone means I arouse to activity. Hormones turn things on. You think of them like a switch. Essential nutrients act in chemical reactions. They act to facilitate chemistry. Hormones turn things on. Hormones are master switches. This is why it's so problematic to just use hormones in a body that's malnourished. This is where you run into issues with hormone replacement therapy. Hormones are a switch, but they require the essential nutrients to facilitate the switching. The switching is just making chemistry happen. The chemistry requires the nutrition. So hormones are primary to nutrition, but they require nutrition. They're primary to nutrition in the sense they turn things on. Nutrients don't necessarily turn things on, but hormones can't work effectively without nutrition. Hormones cannot work effectively in a malnourished body. You can't get the benefits, the optimal benefits from hormones. In fact, you can make it can be counterproductive if you try to drive chemistry with hormones without having a healthy body. And the implications for hormone replacement therapy, if you're using estrogen and testosterone also, testosterone and estrogen are two prescription forms of HRT, and they're the real problematic ones. You can do HRT with DHEA, which you can get on the internet or in some health food stores. You can do HRT with progesterone. You can do HRT with pregnenolone. I've talked about pregnenolone. I don't hear a lot of people talking about pregnenolone, which is unfortunate. Pregnenolone, pregnenolone. Between those three, you've got your over-the-counter hormones, and the reason you get those over-the-counter is because they're not as purified. They're not as refined. Testosterone and estrogen are super refined. They're super potent. When you give the body something that's super refined or super potent, the end result of chemistry, the very end result of synthetic chemistry or synthesis, the production of things. Remember, everything in the body is about tinker toys, and tinker toys are constantly being tweaked, and that's what we call biochemistry. When a tinker toy reaches the end of its tweaking, we say that's very, very refined. Those are the chemicals, those are the hormones that have the most toxicity. And estrogen and testosterone are the two that you got to be the most careful of, especially estrogen. Estrogen is the end result of the refining of cholesterol. It's a very super highly activated form of cholesterol. That's what estrogen is. I find that so ironic. The cholesterol is basically all of these powerful hormones. And we'll actually take HRT on the one hand, but we'll shut down our body's production of cholesterol on the other hand. We deify the end results of the activated form of cholesterol, but we demonize the cholesterol. Anyway, if you're using estrogen or testosterone and you are, like most people, malnourished, present company excluded, of course. Most of you guys who are listening to this program understand the importance of nutritional supplementation and nutrients. But if you're like most people and you are nutritionally deficient and you're trying to take HRT, you're trying to take your Premarin or your Estrovis or your estrogen creams or whatever it is you're using, your testosterone, you will at best not be taking maximum advantage of your hormones. You're not going to be leveraging your hormones maximally. And at worst, you could be creating biochemical problems. And your medical protocol, your HRT protocol is supposed to be helping you, could be counterproductive. And that's why you get these diverse effects from HRT. And that's why HRT is so confusing, hormone replacement therapy. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it cause cancer? Does it make you younger? It depends on the body the HRT is going into. Last week I read an article from the Annals of Internal Medicine, Harms and Benefits. This is from a couple weeks ago, September 10th. Harms and benefits of estrogen therapy among women with a hysterectomy appear to depend on the age when the therapy was started. In other words, if the therapy was started when people were young, they got better results than if the therapy was started when they were old. Why? Because when they're young, presumably, they're healthier. When they're old, they're less healthy, so you don't get the benefits when you're old. Patients who started estrogen over the age of 60 did not derive a benefit and experienced more adverse effects, particularly if they were 70 or older. 70-year-old women should not be on hormone replacement therapy. That's craziness. That is utter craziness. And by the way, elderly people, really elderly people, shouldn't be on drugs anyway. Unless they absolutely positively have no option, the body's too weak to be able to handle drugs. I wonder how many deaths are caused. The death certificate says heart attack, but it was really caused by adverse reactions. We don't know. All right. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We have lines open for you. 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, the longevity products, skin health questions, something you may have heard about, read about, ingredients, formulations, 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you. If you just have a comment or success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. Let's make this show a dialogue, not a monologue. It's much more entertaining that way. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have want to purchase longevity products, you can head to our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470, and our skin health products, Truth Skin Health products, can be had at truthtreatments.com. We've got new products coming out here in the next week or two. Our full-size biomimetic mineral mist is out. We've got some specials running. Go to truthtreatments.com for more information, truthtreatments.com. All right, so we're talking about this kind of misunderstood idea of hormones. The two major classes of hormones are your peptide hormones and your steroid hormones. We're going to talk, most people think about hormones, they think of the steroid hormones, which are all versions of cholesterol. That's the most important thing to understand about the steroid hormone, or one of the most important things to understand. That's why the body is always making cholesterol. When the body needs to deal with life, the steroid hormones are dealing with life system. The steroid hormones are your growth hormones, stress hormones. They're the hormones that help us deal with life. Peptide hormones are more quick acting, and they're more for the day-to-day functions. The steroid hormones, they're more for emergencies, growth, repair, dealing with stress, and they all come from cholesterol. That is so important to understand because cholesterol is arguably the most important molecule in the body because of this idea that all the steroid hormones are versions of cholesterol. Cholesterol is turned into DHEA, which is turned into male hormones and female hormones. Female hormones are the end. Estradiol in particular is the end, and this is why estrone and estradiol and estriol, the big three estrogens, are so problematic. Body can't really switch those around. The body can switch around DHEA. The body can switch around testosterone even. The body can switch around progesterone a lot. The body can switch around pregnenolone, but it can't switch around the estrogens, especially estradiol, which is the end. That has to be eliminated. It cannot be switched around. Now when it's eliminated, unfortunately, it is kind of tweaked, and sometimes it's tweaked into a more toxic form. That's called a catechol estrogen. Catechol really revs things up. Catechols like speed. You think of catechols like speed. In fact, speed and catechols. Speed is a type of catechol. C-A-T-E-C-H-O-L. Catechol. Catechol. When you hear that word in chemistry, you got something revved up. A catechol estrogen is a super revved up estrogen, and that's why you got to have good bowel movements if you're dealing with an estrogenic problem, and that's why bad bowel movements, constipation, are usually the precedent to estrogenic health challenges. I've yet to see one that didn't have some kind of constipation issue long-standing, and that includes disease states that are estrogenically based, like fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome and hypothyroidism and autoimmune diseases. These are all preceded by long-term clogging, long-term lack of elimination of estrogen. Long-term digestive issues, because estrogen elimination depends on a good digestion. I'm talking people who are dealing with reproductive diseases, cancers, endometriosis, fibroids, cysts. Anytime you hear estrogen or you are told estrogen is involved in your health challenge, you have to work on eliminating estrogen, and it's largely eliminated through the bowels. Bile is also very important. Gallbladder is important. Liver is important. You go to the doctor with fibromyalgia, he's going to go, I don't know what to do. We'll just give you Prozac. We'll give you Effexor. We'll give you Zoloft. We'll give you Lyrica. They don't have any it's the craziest thing, because to anybody who even has a slight understanding of chemistry, of biochemistry, You guys listening to this program, if you've been listening for the last few weeks, know more about the cause of these kinds of estrogenic problems than the medical model, than the representatives of the medical model, if you understand what I'm talking about. Estrogen, if it's not eliminated quickly, forms toxic estrogen, so-called catechol estrogens, which really rev up the system. That's where cancer comes from. That's where endometriosis comes from. That's where cysts come from. That's where skin tags come from. That's where growths of all kinds come from. That's where fibroids come from. Oh, and guess what? That's where melasma comes from. That's another big thing that's going on here. Everybody's hyperpigmenting. Melasma, M-E-L-A-S-M-A, is hyperpigmentation, dark spots. I used to say blemishes were the number one skin complaint. I would have to say that hyperpigmentation of melasma is quickly catching up, if it hasn't already superseded blemishes as the major health challenge or skin health challenge that people are worried about or concerned about. Dry skin, melasma, and blemishes probably. Probably dry skin is number one, which is also a fat issue. So if you have hyperpigmentation, dark spots, you can rest assured that you're dealing with some kind of stress hormone issue. Probably toxic estrogen and probably cortisol, and they go hand in hand, by the way. Cortisol, stress hormone, goes hand in hand with toxic estrogen, with poorly eliminated estrogen, cortisol being stress hormone. If you're hyperpigmenting, you got dark spots, work on eliminating your estrogen. Work on your liver and your bile and your gallbladder. Work on your intestine. Work on probiotics. Lower the cortisol by staying off of sugar and using psychological stress. This is for skin. This is for a skin issue like dark spots. Working on your estrogen and working on your cortisol. Topically, you can do lots of things, and topically you could do lots of things, but that's not the cause. You're just going to get your pigmentation back. Topically, you can lighten the skin with retinol. Retinol is probably the most important, most effective, and healthiest of the skin lighteners. And the gold standard for skin lightening is something called hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is very unhealthy, very nasty, albeit effective if you have high doses of it. You can use there's some herbal material that will have anti-skin skin lightening effects. Most impressively, something comes from licorice. It's called styroglycerhetinate. I use it in my Truth Transdermal C serum. Got some multifunction to it, but the most effective of the skin lighteners topical is going to be retinol. Vitamin C is also a great skin lightener. Retinol can help improve skin pigmentation by exfoliation. Vitamin C can help improve skin pigmentation by blocking the enzymes that cause pigment. But your pigment's going to come back if you try to address it simply topically and you have an estrogen and cortisol issue. So if you're chronically hyperpigmenting, if your skin just keeps pigmenting, you lighten it, it pigments again, you lighten it, it pigments again, chances are pretty good your estrogen is off and your stress hormones off. And this happens to women who are pregnant. This also happens to women who are on HRT. Why? Because it throws off their estrogen. And pregnancy, if you're not clearing your estrogen correctly, can also throw off your estrogen levels. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben, 844-236-6010. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side, and we have lines open, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. I am Pharmacist Ben, and we're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 at brightsideben.com on the archive page, brightsideben.com. Got a search engine up at brightsideben.com, also blog, posts, news, stories, videos, and the longevity products, and a join the team link that you can click on if you want to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself and start a longevity business and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program and make a little money while you're doing it. Click on the join the team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also call 866-735-2470 for more information, 866-735-2470. All right, we'll get your calls here in just a moment, and we do have lines open, 844-236-6010 from the Archives of Internal Medicine. Acute cholesterol responses to mental stress and changes in posture. This is so important, and this highlights everything I've been talking about when I talk about cholesterol for years. I've been saying cholesterol is a way we handle stress and manage, or cholesterol secretion is a way that the body deals with stress. From the archives of internal medicine, acute mental stress can produce rapid elevations in serum cholesterol concentration. Goes on to say, it can also increase hemoglobin concentration and hematocrit. That means it makes your blood thicker. Therefore, increases in serum cholesterol level after acute mental stress. Oh, guess what else it does? This whole study was done on changes in posture. Changes in posture can also raise your cholesterol levels. How do you like that? Just changes in posture. I love that. The whole idea being that mental stress, changes in posture, lifestyle, nutritional supplementation, these are all powerful tools that we have at our disposal. When was the last time a doctor wrote a prescription for having your cholesterol, reducing your cholesterol by changing your posture, or by relaxing your body, or by dealing with mental stress? Mental stress leads to elevated cholesterol. Physical stress leads to elevated cholesterol. Stress leads to elevated cholesterol. Sugar stress leads to elevated cholesterol. Elevated cholesterol is the end result of long-term duress, like everything else in the body. Long-term duress shuts down or slows down your thyroid. Or long-term secretion of the stress response chemistry slows down the thyroid. And hypothyroidism is also associated with elevated cholesterol between the thyroid and stress and blood sugar and even the digestive system. That's where you have your cholesterol problems. You don't need a statin drug. We need to work at the triangle of disease: the blood sugar, the stress management system, and the digestive system. All right, let's do a couple more, and then we'll get your phone calls. The role of gut health in the formation of acne. This is from Cosmetics and Toiletries, one of my favorite trade journals for this in the skincare business. The role of gut health in the formation of acne. During the second day of the Face and Body during the second day of Face and Body, that's a convention in Northern California, Laura Cooksey, co-owner and founder of Face Reality Acne Clinic, spoke with attendees about how your gut health impacts skin, specifically acne. Well, congratulations, Laura. We've been talking about this for decades. Dermatologists used to laugh when you told them your digestive system was related to your blemishes. It's not funny because there's people suffering with acne, kids suffering with acne, and they're being treated with benzoyl peroxide and Retin-A and tetracycline and erythromycin and Accutane. And they're eating whatever they want to eat, and nobody's taught to link their intestinal health to their skin health. Triangle of disease, folks. Acne, like all other health challenges, can be backtracked to the triangle of disease. Digestive health, and that starts with probiotics and the intestine. Blood sugar health, and the stress management system. Cortisol leads to oily skin, and skin bacteria love oil. If you have acne blemishes, you have so many non-medical strategies that are curative. I can't say cure because I'll go to jail if I say cure. We'll say curative. Because it's not even a cure. It's just adjusting the biochemistry the way it's supposed to be. Or it's adjusting the biochemistry so it is the way it is supposed to be. Is that a cure? It's not a cure. That's restoring the biochemistry where it needs to be. If you're dealing with blemishes, always focus on the gut first. There's topical strategies you can use. I understand retinol can be very valuable. Alpha hydroxy acids can be very valuable. Salicylic acid can be very valuable for getting rid of dead skin and getting rid of the clogging proteins and oils that are secreted in abundance in the acne patient. And I understand that topically you can do lots of stuff. But if you really want to deal with your blemishes, work number one on the gut. Work number two on 1A on the probiotics and 1B on eliminating problem foods. Dairy is a huge blemish problem. Gluten, of course, another blemish problem. But not just dairy and gluten, it could be anything. SIBO, via the actions of SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, major connection between SIBO and estrogen, by the way. Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I don't want to confuse the issue. The point is that we have so much control over our body. through our lifestyle choices, because of these connections, because of the triangle, because of nutritional supplementation, and because of the impact of our food choices on our skin. All right, I'm going to read one more and then we'll get your phone calls. 844-236-6010. Omega-3s recommended as adjunctive therapy for major depression. This is interesting, from the journal Psychotherapy and Psychosomatics. I love this. The medical model is starting to understand the power of nutrition. Quote, the value of omega-3 PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids, in depression is overlooked even though accumulating evidence supports it. This therapy needs to be on the radar of physicians. Quan Pin Su, MD, PhD, Chief of Department of General Psychiatry at China Medical University in Taiwan. Omega-3s are very interesting and very misunderstood. You get you got two essential fatty acids. They call them omega-6s and omega-3s, but that's not really the accurate name, because omega-6 and omega-3 is a description of a shape. It turns out that the two essential fatty acids are omega-6s and omega-3s, but that doesn't mean all omega-6s and omega-3s are essential fatty acids. And there are some omega-3s that are not essential fatty acids. Fish oil contains two very important but non-essential. This is very important because a lot of people are just using fish oil for their fats. Fish oil contains two very important omega-3s that are not essential. The only essential fatty acids, EFAs, for the most part, come from seeds, true essential fatty acids. The ones that are found in fish, those are not essential, DHA and EPA. So if you're using your fish oil and you're not using flax or chia or hemp seed oils, you may not be getting EFAs. You may not be getting enough essential fatty acids if you're depending on fish oil. Now, that's not to say that fish oil is not valuable. It is valuable. It's just not valuable as a source of EFAs. It's valuable as a source of omega-3s, but not EFAs. So not all omega-3s are EFA. Not all omega-3s are essential. That's not to say they're not important. They're just not essential, which means you absolutely must have it, like air. Essential means it's like air. You absolutely must have it. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. Okay, we're back on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010. I was reading this quote from J. Michael Pearson, the former CEO of a drug company, used to be called Valiant. Now they're called Bausch Health Companies. They make various biologics and metformin and Ocuvite, which is an over-the-counter substance. It's a huge drug company. J. Michael Pearson, former CEO of Valiant Pharmaceuticals, said, quote, his company's responsibility is to its shareholders, not the customers who rely on his drugs to live. That's no surprise. The whole idea of buying drugs from a drug company that is publicly traded, their allegiance is going to be to their shareholders. They have fiduciary obligations. They can go to jail if they don't address the needs of their shareholders first. And we buy drugs, and we trust these companies. And we trust them to take care of our health. There's no way drugs can take care of your health. There's no health issue that can be made better by drugs, with perhaps the exception of pain pills and antibiotics. Drugs are there just to hold things down. They're like, they remind me of just trying to, like a mouse trap that wants to spring. You just keep pressing your hand on that mouse trap. You know what's going to happen when you let go of the mouse trap. It's going to snap. Drugs force that mouse trap down. And all that pressure cannot help but have negative effects, side effects, or adverse reactions. And I wonder sometimes how many people have on their death certificate heart attack when they were really killed by 4 or 5 prescription drugs. You hear that statistic a lot, that prescription medical procedures and prescriptions, the medical model, kills 100,000 people a year, third or fourth leading cause of death. It's probably a lot more than that if you factor in the people who died of a heart attack, but which was really the result of a adverse reaction to a drug or some kind of adverse consequence to a surgical procedure. Anyway, we have so much power over our health. That's the idea. We have so much power over our health. It breaks my heart to see the tragedy of chronic degenerative diseased people who are depending on the pharmacomedical model to get better. And they have no idea that they have the key to the kingdom of healing in their kitchen, in their bathroom, in their living room, and in their from the comfort of their homes. All right, 844-236-6010. Let's go to our friend Elaine in Alaska and say good morning. What's up, Elaine? How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good. Nice to talk to you this morning in Alaska, from Alaska.
Yeah, I don't know
to
how
Alaska.
Much time. I don't
you
know
have
how much
time? It's just you and me today, Elaine.
Okay, well, because
just the two of us.
Nice. I'd like to start with some good news and then kind of get into a little bit not so good news. So
okay, give me the good news first.
So I was in my first commercial.
Oh, you were? For who?
Yeah, and
for who? Who were you in a commercial for?
It's for a helicopter. My friend has a helicopter company up here, and he was talking about how this company from China with their skin products did this beautiful commercial. I'm like, wow, Ben would love to do a commercial. So if you want, I will send that to you, and you can think about that for your truth, because it's pretty stunning photography and videography. So
send it to me. You have my email. Send it to me.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you, Elaine. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what else did you want to talk about?
Well, my brother-in-law in Denver, he did that. He had that skin cancer issue, which he's dealing with, but he just had a lung biopsy, and this rare form of cancer did spread to his lungs.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
I know. So we'd love to help him. And I wanted to pick your brain about if you knew any practitioners in Denver that do the intravenous
IV nutrition, IV glutathione, and
right.
We had a gal on a couple of weeks ago who has an IV therapy company. I think he may need more than that. That's kind of like that's kind of like for rejuvenation. It's sort of over the counter kind of thing. Okay. He may need some more intense stuff. You may want to get him a hospital IV nutrition.
Okay.
That's a tough one, because when you have some kind of disease state you're working with, you really want to pound the vitamin C, pound the Myers cocktail. Myers cocktail is kind of a blend of different anti-cancer or chemotherapy nutrients, selenium, glutathione, of course. The people I know do just kind of rejuvenating stuff. Not that might benefit him, though.
Right.
If he, in the meantime, until he can find somebody, do you want me to? Why don't you're going to send me an email?
Yeah, I'll direct you. And
we had her name's Afton Bryan. Her company is called Specialty Drips.
Okay.
And the drips has 2 P's in it, I think. DRIPPS.
Yeah, I heard that.
Did you take a look at that?
Okay, I'll look at that. And then, is there a possibility? I don't know if you ever do 3-way phone calls.
Yeah, I do them all the time. Yeah, here's the deal with cancer, though, Elaine. Here's the deal with cancer. Okay, all cancer. People tell you, doctors, medical model representatives will say, well, we don't know what causes cancer. You got this cancer, that cancer. You got hundreds of different types of cancer. It's all basically the same thing. And really, there's no such thing as skin cancer, by the way. I know I've said this before. There's no such thing as prostate cancer, right? What is there? Prostate cell cancer, skin cell cancer, breast cell cancer. We have to say that, because if we don't say it, then we think it's a breast thing and not a cell thing. We think it's a skin thing and not a cell thing. We lose our power. See, if you take the disease state, any disease, but especially cancer, to back down to the cell, then you got to say, okay, what does the cell need? Why is the cell freaked? Why is the cell doing this crazy behavior? And you'll always see that it's duress, stress, burden, work, overload, whatever word you want to use. You follow me? It's an overloaded system. It's a system that doesn't have the nutrients it needs to do its work. Now, best case scenario when that happens, or better case scenario when that happens, is the body will take care of the problem by killing the cell. Or the cell will take care of the problem by killing itself. When cells are deprived or stressed or somehow burdened, they will kill themselves. They will commit suicide. Or the body will sense that there's a dysfunctional cell, a defective cell, a cell that's not performing, and it will take care of the problem. It will excise the cell. It will remove the cell. But with cancer, the cell has been burdened, but not bad enough that it'll die, or not bad enough that the body kills it, not bad enough that it will commit suicide, cell suicide. So it's just under the threshold, and it just functions and functions and functions at this low level of burden, relatively low level of burden, and eventually it switches into an older way of behaving, which is the bacterial way. The bacterial way of behaving divides rapidly. It doesn't care about its neighbors. It doesn't form organs. All of the signs of cancer. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. I was just reading about a cure for cancer. Somebody was saying, we should be spending money on a cure for cancer. And this was a good person who, was trying to help people. I forgot where I read this. Cure for cancer. I think it was Natural News. We got to have a cure for cancer. We should be spending money on curing cancer instead of using chemotherapy. And this is, an alternative news site, and you're ripping on the chemotherapy, which makes sense. But the next step, he says, we need a cure for cancer. The cure for cancer is make sure you're on a nutritional supplement program, make sure you're eating correctly and eating little, exercising, breathing. You see what I'm saying here? The cure for cancer is to live a life that is aligned with what your cells need. That's the key right there, people. Live a life as best as you can, because, we have to drink the water, right? We don't have a choice. We got to breathe the air. We got to eat food that comes from animals and soil that's been contaminated for hundreds of years, and especially the last 50 to 100 years by pesticides, glyphosate, and all kinds of other stuff. So you do what you can do. I mean, there's a certain amount you're not going to be able to control, but you do what you can do. You do what you can do. And that's so important. I hear people screaming about EMFs now. You hear all the stuff about EMFs. The EMFs are there. What are you going to do? Live in a lead-lined shelter? Then you have to deal with the lead. I mean, we live in a world.
You can ground. You can ground.
Yes, exactly. You can do things. You can ground.
My daughter was just commenting this morning. I thank God. I feel better today than I did 10 years ago. And everything I've done, she was commenting, Mom, you've just done simple things. Filter your air. Filter your water.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. And you have your disease. You have an autoimmune problem, right? And you have it under control, right?
Lupus. Yep.
Lupus.
Yep.
Hey, Elaine, gotta go. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. Have a beautiful day. We're out of time on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.